Hi folks, I'm glad you're here. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm going to post this video on my backup channel. YouTube flagged it. I just posted on my main website there on YouTube. Have terrorist groups been given the green light for attacks here in the USA? And immediately their little AI flagged it, which means it's going to be shadow banned. Possibly notifications won't be sent out. And I have to wait up to a week for a review to be done by a human being. I also want to give a big shout out to some of you that have bought me many cups of coffee and sent me PayPal donations because of the censoring on YouTube. Yeah, it devastates my finances, and as you know, I get my income basically from Social Security. So God bless you that have supported my work. And I hope you can see it at least on the backup channel. My backup channel, I get no ad revenue over there whatsoever. The video is about terrifying information that I have found and I'm sharing about groups of terrorists that are known here in the United States. One of them was filmed there in Arizona. He possibly was the leader or is the leader for Azerbaijan Islamic group there. What he said to the journalist was rather chilling, so please watch. And most of all, please share my videos. It's the only way people are going to find the truth. Hi folks, I'm glad you're here. Thank you very much for joining me. And please share this video. I just got off the phone with my Congressman Dusty Johnson and my Governor Kristi Noem about recent things that I have discovered today. Our country is in deep trouble. Recently on social media, an image of possibly Musum Samadov making a creepy threat to a journalist who filmed him and asked him who he was as he came across the border. If it is in fact Musum Samadov, yeah, this just shows you how bad things are there at the border.
By the way, if you are smart enough, you would know who I am. But you are really not smart enough to know who I am. But soon you're gonna know who I am. Very easy.
Wow, very easy. The entitlement.
No, believe me, I'm much better than that.
The entitlement, guys. Wow.
By the way, if you are smart enough, you would know who I am. But you are really not smart enough to know who I am. But soon you're gonna know who I am. Very easy.
Wow, very easy. The entitlement.
No, believe me, I'm much better than that.
He recently was released from prison in January of last year and was the head of the Islamic Party of Azerbaijan. Back on January of 2020, President Trump ordered the assassination of General Qasem Soleimani by the use of an airstrike. On January 3rd, Iranian President Rouhani, speaking to the anniversary of the assassination of General Assami, said that the former U.S. President Donald Trump must face trial for killing or Tehran must take revenge. They went on to say that if Trump and former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo are not tried in a fair court for the criminal act of the assassination of General Soleimani, Muslims will take our martyrs' revenge, Rouhani said in a speech back in 2022. The aggressor, murderer, and main culprit, and then President of the United States must be tried and judged under the Islamic law of retribution, and God's ruling must be carried out against him. A member of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard was charged in August with planning to assassinate John Bolton, the former United States National Security Advisor, in what the U.S. Justice Department called retaliation for the death of Iran's Islamic Qasem Soleimani. Former Secretary of State John Pompeo was also told by the Justice Department that he was a second target of the plot. Now, the Azerbaijan Islamic Party was founded in 1991, I believe. It advocated stronger ties with Iran and even proclaimed the state of Azerbaijan as an Islamic republic. The Islamic Party of Azerbaijan was financed by Iran and was known as having fiery anti-American rhetoric, anti-Jewish rhetoric, and was fiercely opposed and advocated a ban on Christian missionary activities. In January of 2011, he was charged with preparing for crimes, acts of terrorism, by arranging groups of persons or organized groups or criminal committees for the overthrow of the government there in Azerbaijan. He was charged with illegally purchasing, transferring, selling, storing, transporting, and carrying firearms, accessory supplies, and explosives to be committed by organized groups. A few days before his arrest, he made a fiery speech denouncing the country's ban on wearing religious headscarves in schools and other places throughout the country. If this man is actually who people say he is, makes me wonder who his handlers are. Who here in the United States is helping him to come in to the United States and plan attacks here possible. I don't know if it's the same person. I don't know if this person is planning attacks on our presidential leaders. I don't know. But all these different terrorists that are being allowed to come into our country and they know they're terrorists and not deported is very concerning for me. Another group recently came to my attention that is very organized here in the United States. Some people might call them gangs. The American translation is water train or Tren de Aragua. This group comes from many countries there in South America. Venezuela has the largest criminal organization, and it has extended its operations here into the United States. The Miami Herald reported that an alleged gang member and Venezuelan illegal immigrant, a 23-year-old man, Yerwin Salazar, is facing murder charges for the death of a retired Venezuelan police officer who is living here in South Florida. So the group must have got the green light. There must have been a contract on his head, but he was murdered here in the United States. According to the Miami-Dade Police Department, Salazar has played a role in luring, abducting, and killing Jose Luis Sanchez Valera, who is 43, in November. Gang members openly display weapons on social media and are known to have a distinctive train tattoo. The Tren de Aragua organization was born in Tocoron prison in the state of Aragua. The group's name roughly translates into Aragua train. As different cells became more established, they moved into local criminal economies, employing eye-catching targets, violence to force out local gangs and establish themselves as serious threats. In addition to extortion and migrant smuggling, Tren de Aragua cells controlled loan sharking, also referred to gata or drop-by-drop retail drug trafficking, kidnapping, small-scale international drug trafficking, human trafficking, and robberies. Each cell specializes in different activities based on local conditions. They are now in New York and Chicago, it's been reported. The head of the group, Hector Guerrero Flores, evidently escaped somehow from a Venezuelan maximum security prison, and that was in September. Even before his escape from the high security prison, he ruled the gang with the help of his brother and brother-in-law, among others. As of November of last year, there was over 30 arrests of illegals from Venezuela in Chicago. More than half of the cases involved theft and shoplifting, Two involved violent crimes, a robbery and a stabbing. And several stores there in Chicago, such as Macy's and Nordstrom's, have been repeated targets of retail thefts by Venezuelan illegal migrants in the Chicago Oak Brook area. Remember how I talked about how a lot of these migrants are living on the floors of police stations? Well, evidently, Georgie Grillo was charged with stabbing a fellow asylum seeker in the bathroom of the Grand Crossing police station where Grillo was living. The Chicago Police and Sheriff's Office have put out internal alerts to officers about the possibility of members of the violent Tren de Aragua prison gangs living among migrants. But officials would not discuss those alerts. Interestingly, too, which I didn't know about, there's another type of gang tattoo, which is a skull with a gas mask and an AK-47 rifle. That was according to the alert, which said its members wear Michael Jordan number 23 jerseys because of the gang's anniversary is January 23rd. That would have been yesterday. And then because of the poor diplomatic relationship that the United States has with Venezuela, yeah, it's probably impossible to get any type of criminal background on these illegals that are coming into our country. Many of the newer Venezuelan gang members of the Tren de Aragua gangs are not even getting tattoos anymore because they don't want to be recognized by law enforcement as members. CNN did report that between October 2022 and October of 23, they did apprehend or detain 38 possible members of the Aguera train gang. When I called Christine Noem's office, who's the governor of South Dakota, her representative that I spoke with said that South Dakota is one of the only states, I believe, that has sent National Guard to the border. I believe that was like a year ago. But basically, they were there only to help with the paperwork and not keep the illegals out. I hope Texas continues its fight against the federal government to keep the illegals out. I asked them about her opinion about the razor wire, and she said that she has not made a public statement about the razor wire that the federal government and the Border Control were removing. I told them I think she needs to do that, and sooner the better. You know, we need more action to keep these illegals out. So what are your thoughts? Please like, please share. Make sure you're still subscribed, and I'll talk to you later. God bless you. Bye.